Well, welcome back to a new year of Hymn and a History. We're going to try to fill the year of 2022 with more songs and stories for you all. So tonight we're going to go back to 1949 and we are going to talk about the Billy Graham Crusades. And Billy Graham, he of course died, it was in 2018, February 21st, and he was 99 years old. And he started his crusades in the year 1947. And he arrived in LA and he was trying to promote another crusade, and he had just given a news conference and he was really excited to see the papers the next day how they would carry the story. But you know what? Not one paper picked up the story of him and his crusades. And so he was very disappointed by that. But he had a friend by the name of Henrietta Mears, who was a teacher, and she invited him to speak to a group of Hollywood personalities in her home in Beverly Hills. And so Billy goes there, and of the people he met that day, there was a man. He was a radio host at the time. His name was Stuart Hamblin, and he was known for his gambling and fighting. But him and Billy, they clicked, and they did become good friends. And of course, Billy shared his faith with him, and he wanted Stuart to come to faith in Christ. But at the end of 3 weeks, nothing really happened. And the meetings were coming to a close. They had made, they were picking up momentum, and the organizers of the meeting said, hey, Billy, how about we just extend them? Well, Billy, he wasn't so sure on this. He had never extended any of his things before, his crusades, and he said, you know what, I'm just going to ask God for a sign. And so he prayed that night, and that night at 4:30 in the morning, Stuart called him, and he was in tears. And so Billy got up right away, and he drove over to Stuart's house, and that night or morning, Stuart finally placed his faith in the Lord. And so this was the sign that Billy needed to say, extend the meetings. So let me tell you a little bit about the Crusades. They lasted from 1947 until 2005, and there was 417 of them, and they were in 185 countries and on 6 continents. And one of his favorite songs that he loved to use in the altar calls was Just As I Am. And we have gone over that song in our series here. So if you'd like to know more about that song, look back through our videos here on YouTube, or maybe I'll put a link down below. And at in the 58 years that he did the Crusades, they estimate that he reached 210 million people. And his longest crusade was in New York, Madison Square Garden, and that lasted for 16 weeks. And then his largest audience he had was in South Korea in 1973, and there was 1.1 million people there. So this crusade, the LA Crusade, was his 8th crusade. And so after that time that Stuart had accepted the Lord, he talked about it on his radio program, and the papers did pick up on this story now. And he had met John Wayne on the street talking later, and the Duke said to him, he said, he asked him about his faith, and Stuart said, well, Duke, it is no secret what God can do. And John Wayne said, that kind of sounds like a song. And so Stuart did go home that night, and he wrote this song, and he went on to write 225 others. So isn't that just a lovely story? So we are going to sing this song, and if you were raised in church and or heard this song in church or by your mother or grandmother or anything like that, I pray that you would just sing along with me now. So you ready? It is no secret what God can do, what He's done for others, He'll do for you. With arms wide open, He'll pardon you. It is no secret what God God can do. So I hope in the year 2022, God does miraculous things for you. I pray it finds you better than 2021, and join us for the next 10-minute history.